but you gotta go. She got a type of thing you can't find no more. I'm gonna type again, honey, around no more. On her face. Trying to wait to get to the parking spot. Feel like a mile away, I gotta get off the block. I'm always in tell me I want you. Oh, will I survive the letter? 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 Survive the letter. Let me know if I'm gonna survive the letter. Cause that's like that's like this is like a song for like the introverts, like who ready to just step out their zone and just let everybody know that you're outside. I love that raw effect right now. Hope everybody's having a good day. Everybody who's tuning in or who's going to tune in. I would love to know how you connect with this piece as well. So let me know in the chat. Wanna know, baby, what you going on? Yeah, Carolina. I got a new number. Please delete that. Oh, no, you must have. How you doing? How you doing? Let me know if you connect with this piece. I'm finishing it off. I'm just working on the frames, the shapes, and just outlining everything after that. Currently, I'm outlining, you know, this red frame here, trying to figure out if I'm going to connect them on the bottom and the top. Now, if I was going to do that, probably should, but it's all good. We can go over that again. All right, we're gonna leave the bottom because I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. On the bottom, probably just gonna finish it off with the red. Let me know how you guys connect with this piece. I want everybody to vibe out with me while I'm in the art studio. We're in here every day. We're gonna go live. We're gonna try to go live every day while I'm in the art studio. Try to turn on the camera while I'm doing things. Get everybody involved. I want everybody to engage with me. Let me know how you appreciate the art, what you see in the art. How do you feel when you look at my art? Do you see any relatabilities for your own life, your own human experiences? Let me know in the chat. I don't bite, y'all. This is a video. This is not AI. This is real. Let's engage. Let's talk. I'm human too. If you tuned in, this is my human experience. We're just working on a lot of different pieces, a lot of series. Just creating the world that I see. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you can continue to experience my living artist journey, because I am not dead yet. Sorry. Relocation. What does that mean to you? Let's vibe out today. Let's vibe out today. Come on, y'all. Let me know in the chat. Do you appreciate this art? Let me get some likes if you like this piece. If you connect with this piece. If you do connect with the piece, let me know what it is that you do connect with. Gotta get this. Just like that. Get some medium up in here. Call this the secret potion. What a lot of people fail to realize is that artists are not just artists, they're scientists. Like, we are scientists in our own right. But we, you know what I'm saying? I call it the art of science. Or the science of art, art of science, whatever, bro. I don't even know at this point. Alright, perfect. I'm not gonna lie, this finger hurts. Kanye had through the wire. I got 4 fingers through 4. Go very light. Not very light, but we're gonna go one shade, then we'll go over it. We might keep that contrast. Right now, this part here doesn't matter. We're just trying to get it some light blues. Stretch out that paint. Hope everybody's having a good day or a good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Right now it's the morning for me. Just I hit everything. What's going on Lock and Paradoxes? I hope that you're doing well, having a great day so far. It's going good. It's getting better. Not gonna lie. Personally, I feel like it's getting better, so I'm trying to work through it this morning with my art, and then get my day started again and continue going from there. I hope you're having a good day as well, family. Excuse my stuttering sometimes. Stop running away, stop running away. Man, I put this piece off. I mean, I put a lot of pieces off, but specifically this piece, I didn't know where I wanted to go with it. Like, I was done with this piece fairly quick. All of this, I just added the frame, the blue and the red frame yesterday. But this piece itself, I started in 2023. Put it aside, worked on other pieces, other series along the way, and then I have other works that are a part of this series that represents my experience of getting flooded out of my apartment and experiencing Hurricane Ian in Florida, and then moving back to New Jersey, deciding to move back to New Jersey, and there's a lot of different things, right? So I'm telling that story through different pieces. So this one touches on relocation, moving back, just kind of going through the motions and thinking about things that I'm still working on. Basically bringing myself back to, you know what I'm saying, where I was born, but with the same things I was working on from here to here, and now we're back to the same, you know, with a different perspective though, with you know, a different period of life. Everything that I thought I knew, you know, possibly didn't know, or, you know what I'm saying, there was just a whole lot of, it's just a whole different experience for me, and this piece represents that. I didn't know where I wanted to go with it, I guess, as far as the message itself, you know. It was a hard experience, so I guess for me, I wasn't really too worried about like finishing this piece off so quickly. But now I'm leaving everything, you know, how it is. Just gonna add the frames, add the pop, the shapes, and possibly write a couple other words that represent just a couple feelings in this state. You know, 2026. Certain thoughts that I just have about that experience. But I'm letting that sink in for a little bit. I have to look up certain dates that I want to put on there. I appreciate you too, family. Shit. Yo, I don't know what it is, man, but I've been on a burping episode for so long. I don't know like what it is. I know there's a term for it, but like where it's like chronic. I don't get it. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I just burp out of nowhere, bro. At this point, I'm like the burp king, I guess. I don't know. Not like I want to be a king of that. I'm just oh man. Anybody who's going to tune in or who does tune in later on when this video is reposted, I would love to know if this piece makes you feel any emotions. Does it evoke any experiences that's relatable to you, or maybe it doesn't have to do with a hurricane, but this piece specifically, it doesn't directly touch on the hurricane. It touches more on relocating, so that can be a theme to touch on for yourself if to reflect on. Maybe it represents something for you in this present moment or in the past. I don't know. Or maybe you just appreciate the piece for what it is. Maybe it reminds you of a vacation. For me, it kind of, I see that aspect too. It's coming from Florida to New Jersey, it's a whole different vibe. Like when you're in Florida, it kind of feels like you're in vacation all 24/7. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of feels weird. It's for sure a different experience, I gotta say. But it's something you have to experience to understand it. I would have never understood that experience if I never lived in Florida. To me, it would have just been what it was. And then looking back on that experience, I find it for myself not so easy to relocate. Like, yeah, oh yeah, but you were in Florida, you relocated. Yeah, but that wasn't really like all by choice. Like, it kind of just happened. I went with it. I mean, yeah, it was by choice. But at some point, just ran with it. It's like I needed to live to be able to continue to create. Like, none of this would have been possible. Nothing I create would have been is possible without living and actually reflecting on these experiences of life. And good experiences, positive, negatives, looking for the positives within the negatives. I'm very empath, so I feel a lot. I see a lot. I don't say a lot sometimes, and sometimes I do say a lot. I'm very observant, and it sucks sometimes. Yo, what's going on, Elliot? Legendary. Do you still feel attachment to places you moved away from? 100%. Welcome to this. Yes, welcome. 100%. There's a lot actually that I've learned throughout that experience, and as far as attachment, as far as learning how to detach yourself from family in the sense of if you have a calling to do, maybe you want to be somewhere else, and sometimes I don't think sometimes. From my observation, I think a lot of times I notice people would rather be in a certain place and try new things, and they stay in a certain area because they want to be around their immediate family, which is like not bad at all. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? That you can actually, saying that you have family that you feel like you want to be around. But sometimes I feel like that holds individuals back without ever knowing. Like the ones who overcome those obstacles, they overcome them. But everybody else who never does it, um, and even me doing that, that was for such a short period of time. And there's like, sometimes there's little regrets in there. And then I think I'm like, there should never be like regrets, or it's weird. It's very weird feelings. And it's not like being a personally. I'm not like a So New Jersey person. I'll be honest, but like I'm here, like, and sometimes you just kind of feel stuck in certain places. I mean, it's sometimes it's not easy to, as I learned, to just, I think sometimes it's easier than I say, but at the same time, like, it is hard. Um, I don't know. It's weird, I always like when I think of stuff like this. I always like to think of celebrities. You know why? The reason I always like to think about celebrities when I'm thinking about attachments and things like this is because when you think about the celebrity, you think about how their day in and day out life is almost in public all the time, and they're working all the time, and they're traveling here, they're traveling there, and then they make time for their family. What I'm saying, when they can, that they fit it within their schedule. They don't move everything else around, so they don't grow. And so it's like when you look at that, and then they make time, like you look at that in perspective. I don't see like why you can't utilize that same perspective too, and realize that maybe it's time to move on, or what I'm saying. I'm not saying this for everybody. I'm saying, but these are thoughts. These are sometimes it could be even a new job. Sometimes we get stuck in a position and we just get comfortable, complacent. It could be anything. Like it don't have to be moving, but that's one thing that I've experienced and currently still kind of like kind of deal with. Because to be honest, I would leave everything behind. Do my best to pay off everything. You know what I'm saying? Leave everything behind, basically. You know what I'm saying? And move out the country. Like I would go straight to Europe and just see what's up. Like if I gotta start, you know what I'm saying? Uh, just start right from the bottom. Like and doing things like that to me is not as easy that it should, but it should be. I feel like you should be able to do whatever you want to do in your life. Like you only got one life. But at the same time, you do want to show up for the people you love as well. Clawbert, how you doing, Clawbert? Hey, shout out to Brazil. Yo, what? Man, I can't. What? I would love to visit Brazil one day. Like being nomadic, not being nomadic, like just being able to leave your comfort zone. Um, so for me, look, put it like this, right? This is the best example that I could put it in. It's like I was saying, when you live in a hometown and your family lives within that hometown, most people, even myself, it's hard to envision yourself to move out the state or out the country, knowing that you won't be seeing your family, your mother, your father, um, you know what I'm saying, every couple weeks, or every month, you know what I'm saying, because you're in another state maybe, or a couple states away, or you're in another country. Like the relationships change in the sense of you being able to just pop up to your, family's house or your parents' house. In this example, if you still have them, in your life and things like that. And so it's like it's not as easy in that perspective. It's not about being a nomadic. I mean, I you could be a nomadic anywhere, man. Like, in the sense of go travel, go out to the park, but yeah, it's not even more so about being nomadic. It's more so about like just doing what you want to do at any moment without thinking that like thinking regrets, like you're leaving things behind when you're moving forward, but you're also making. It's not like you're leaving things. You just gotta now schedule things in a different manner because life changes. You need. You do. I do believe that whatever it is, because it's all individual, but there are things in our life that we do need to put ourselves into confrontation to be able to get out of our own way in certain areas of life. But that's one that is not as easy. Like if I wanted to today, I could just be like, fuck it, I'll just leave everything behind, um, and the car note, and saying everything out here, and then move out the country. Like I would do that right now, but it's kind of hard. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's not as easy. It's not like I could just go there and like, oh, I'll be alright. Like, but I'm saying in retrospect, right? But that's like for anything. Like I said, you have a job and maybe you're just being complacent and what I'm saying. Just a lot of things. Like even me growing up, I was so complacent with my first job. Complacency is not a new thing to me, but it's becoming more aware. Are you saying that Soul's art looks like a Basquiat? What are you talking about? It looks like Basquiat style. Listen, unlocking paradoxes. Now I appreciate everybody joining, but my apologies, but there is a language barrier, or that it reminds you of Basquiat. Nah, they're probably saying it reminds them of Basquiat, but at this point, like I think people just like to troll, bro, because there's nothing here that uh, Basquiat has done besides write words. Basquiat wasn't doing cubism like this. He wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't just. He wasn't like. It just wasn't like. So it's like at this point when you're looking at a lot of my work, I just don't. The Basquiat influence, you could you know what I'm saying? You could say the relatability because of the words, but that's always something that was natural before I even knew Basquiat because I was a poet. My first piece on paper is a poem. Um, Now thinking about it, because there was something that I was, but anyway, that because actually there was a time where I forgot about that piece, but I've been going through all my older works, just documenting everything, and so it's like, but at this point, bro, like in the beginning, I could see it a lot more, but now there's no way you can say that many of my pieces would remind you 100% of a Basquiat. That's ridiculous. If I could you for me, if I was saying it, I would say Basquiat influence, you could say Picasso influence, you could say Rembrandt influence, you could say Andy Warhol influence. You know what I'm saying? There's so much influences, but a lot of these influences aren't influence like with me. You know what I'm saying? This is me. And I grew up like when I was a child, I grew up on Picasso. I grew up on Frida Kahlo. There wasn't so there wasn't too much in between when I was a child. There was just a lot more top names and a lot of like when my uncle and my parents would bring me to the museum, and my uncle specifically, he would buy me a lot of different art books growing up, and I always kept them. Like I have the same ones that I grew up with, and those are the only ones that I ever looked at growing up, studied, not studied, but engaged in growing up before I even started painting. And so like now when I'm reflecting on my own style that I call a poetic expressionism, it's a blend of so many different styles. And then along that way, there's a lot of different ways that I've been able to incorporate things that are my own, you know? Um, and a poetic expressionism to me is that blend. It's that blend of emotion. It's the essence of abstract expressionism. It's born out of abstract expressionism in essence for me because when I'm working on my pieces, it's all in the moment for the most part, and so that poetic expressionism is like putting those pieces together. The visual story, the visual aspect, the human experience aspect, the diary like format aspect. So that's why I coined it poetic expressionism. But like, yeah, it's a blend of so much. I mean, cubism, expressionism. It's a I feel like decorative at this point as well. Um, I've always spoken about that, but now it's a lot more prevalent when you look at my works as far as that we have our own styles and many influences. Yeah, 100%. Everybody is yo. At the end of the day, everybody is either doing abstraction, uh, abstract expressionism, port portraiture, realism, surrealism. There isn't everything in between is how people utilize those. You know what I'm saying? Different parts, different styles, and they learn about, you know what I'm saying, you're learning about yourself as an artist, and it's the voice really. It's to me, you can have, you know what I'm saying, thousands of abstract expressionists doing the same type of, you know, abstract expressionist work, right? But it's that language that you're displaying. It's the language that you're telling that makes the abstract expressionist work or any work to me. But speaking of abstract expression, because I mean, not everything is meant for that. But in terms of abstract expressionism, I mean, I'm saying it's all about the voice with anything. But like at the end of the day, everything is out there. It's about how you're presenting your art, how you're doing your art. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there really isn't much to go around that. I mean, I don't know. I can go on for days about that because honestly, like even me starting art, everybody's always talking about, oh, you gotta get your own style, this and that, and that's 100% true. But people make it seem like it's not supposed to be abstract, it's not supposed to be cubism, it's not supposed to be neo expressionism. So it's like when people say, oh, that looks like a Basquiat, oh, that looks like a Picasso, maybe in essence, you know, some works do remind you of that. And like let's say you're looking at an artist and you haven't really looked at their body of work, or maybe they don't even have a body of work, so it's like you can't come to that conclusion. But you know, when you're looking at a body of work of an artist and you're just looking for that influence, maybe they're right, like in a sense, because I think as an artist you should look at, like I always looked at that, like when people say, oh, that looks like a Basquiat, that looks like a Picasso, right? Every time somebody said that, it always made me backtrack. It always made me want to, all right, cool, so that looks like a Basquiat, that means I have to pivot and continue doing what I'm doing and find myself through that, because I don't know, that's just how I think, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's about language. It's about how you're presenting, how you create. For me, this is how I naturally created the first day I started creating. So you can't take that away. So how does influence come out if it was a natural thing? The influences came later for me, and there's a lot of other artists who are the same way. A lot of music artists, a lot of people would say the same thing. Like that's just the reality of things. Some people are just like that. Like you know, and then along the way, you just learn how to get out that vision better. You know what I'm saying? Like this is this is this is my better work. You know what I'm saying? From prior to when I was just creating and just doing whatever because I was just getting my thoughts out. Now it's more intentional and I'm using better tools. I'm using, you know what I'm saying, better materials to actually get that same vision out in a clearer light, you know? I think everybody in their own way just has it and it's about finding it. Everybody's different. I definitely like I used to say I don't know. I never because I was always an artist, I look at influence different. I never wanted to at some point I always told myself that you have to start studying your own work. Like for me, for so many years I was creating sketching, a lot of works on paper. Just I was everywhere. I was doing a lot of different things on a lot of different mediums. At some point, I just started studying my own work. There isn't really for me. Like I feel like at some point in any artist journey, you do have to study your own work to getting coherency within your vision. At least that helped. That helps me out because I was able to go through everything and still to today, like every time I do a drawing, like for instance, you've been a part of my live drawings on YouTube, and I did over maybe like 200 drawings live on YouTube. Those are all in the moment drawings. Took me, up to 30 minutes to do. Some 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Some longer if I was talking with you guys. But those are all original one of ones. Now I can go back to those and actually recreate those on larger scales. So it's like those are 200 plus different emotions that I can play with that was created in that moment from my mind. So is there influence there? There's no like subconsciously, yeah, everybody's gonna have influences, but like when you're intentionally working at that pace and doing that much work at that speed, you start to form your own influence. You start to form your own flow, and when you start to study, your own work, you start to become your own product. You know what I'm saying? It's like you plant a seed, a banana seed, and you become a banana. That's the product of the seed. So for me, I feel like you become your own seed, and eventually you become your own product um, of that seed every time. Yo, I feel like there's a piece of hair on my face that is pissing me off. I don't know if you guys noticed me out trying to get this piece of hair off my face. My bad. So I wasn't trying to be. Nah, you're not just. Why you said that? We're just asking them if that's why they were trying to say because they might not have been like. But I do appreciate it, Clubbert. They might not have been. I'm just trying to make a point because it starts to it gets old sometimes. It's like I mean, I appreciate every time though because it's I love Basquiat's mind. Like I relate to him 100%. Like um he helped me come to terms that my work was actually it was okay to do. Like I felt like it was too much at one point. I don't think that anymore, but I felt like it was too dark. I was putting out there too much, and now I realize that that's my art. Like that's the whole point, or at least that's how I want it to continue. Step. 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 Will I make it home? Step. Will I make it home? Step. Gon' step. Only God gon' step. Can't you blind me? Don't you stop my heart from pressing and driving me? Don't you make me think and take the power? I'm just standing in the hallway. Lights come on, oh lights come on, forgot it, forgot it. Oh, we survived the let out. 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 She got a type of thing, you can find them all. I get a type of games, hung around them all. I was always late. I'm trying to find a way to get to the parking spot. On a mile away, I gotta get off the block. My waist and told me I want you. Step. Step. Again with the shits. We survived. Ah, fuck it. I just painted just right there. Being lazy about it. Literally, I could just move it, but I'm not gonna do it, bro. Literally, I can move it. What's up, chat? Listen, if y'all tuning in, I need y'all to show love, vibe out with me. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm on here for. I don't talk all the time while I'm in a studio. Take advantage. Look at my face. What you talking about? I know what's on my plate. I need to relate. Be fake. I'm just take a step. What you talking about? What you talking about? Yeah. You'll hear my words, but I got no clue. The shark infested waters, like that made me sound harder and more ruthless. But I barely swam. I the stole the winded lamb. Damn. Why the world spins like whirlwinds out of control. How did the soul find the dirt climb when all of this cold water that flows got a sure contaminated with sin and planted with the latest with trends and slated and equated with them stated in reputations with him. My greatest wins. Too much on my plate. I'm talking about. What you talking about? Safe. What you talking about? Quiet is kept. The energy liquid. So, I didn't I'm a snake. I just not a snake. I didn't understand this thing. What you talking about? I didn't remember me. I didn't say. What are you talking about? Shout out to Unlocking Paradoxes. Bro's been very supportive. Very cool. Let me know in the chat the best time for everybody to, what time is better for everybody for me to tune in for y'all so I can try to tune in at all those times to give everybody a chance to vibe out. We're gonna take the red. Well, like that. Hey, would this fit on a 40-40? have to do a. I 100% want this a 40-40. There's no point in moving it down to a 39-39. I'll do a floating frame for this. And even 35. There goes a song. That's too weird. I'm leaving that too. Let me know how you guys connect with this piece. Does it evoke any emotions? Let me know in the chat. Talk with me. Come on. I don't bite. This is a video. This is not AI. We're in the studio. Having a human experience. Have a human experience with me. I need a flick right now, dog. I know. Okay, if you don't connect with the piece, don't say anything. No, matter of fact, if you do connect with the piece, don't say anything in the chat, y'all. Let's heighten up the ego. I'm dead. I make myself laugh. Some days I focus on hate, some days I focus on dope. I look them right in his face and let them know that his face was covered genuine place from continuing race to be the best that I genuine to who you forget who you was and who you get. Fine, let's fly away.